right. Good day. This is a mental health segment. And I just sometimes, I don't really know how I'm doing with my material right now. Like I said, I'm in a it's basically like I'm doing Vlogmas, but I'm not doing that by any stretch of what Vlogmas is, but in a sort of like pattern. Like I'm checking in a little bit more frequently, and I'm trying to make this collection. I'm home alone. Yeah. So these are the days that I tend to get caught up in thoughts. So in this segment about mental health, I'm coming up against the thoughts of why, for me, it is urgent right now to achieve a holistically better quality of life. I think that is my general concern. I don't know if that means life mission or something like that. And I know I was talking a little bit about who said it. These are like secondhand rants. These are what I imagine I call these things. It's like I start with an activity. This is typically how it happens. There's an activity that I'm doing, whether it's watching something, reading something, moving my body, maybe even laundry. It starts with an activity, something that I can just get into. And yes, I can get into laundry, if you're wondering. But it starts with an activity, and then some thoughts come in. Especially, it's very easy for thoughts to come in when I'm listening to another conversation. So then it's like the thoughts that bounce off of those others' thoughts, they start to become like secondhand rants to me. Like I start to really think and consider, and especially right now where my faith has been the most drastic change in my life to date. So in the midst of that, these thoughts, as they become secondhand rants, I don't really remember what I was going to say in that moment. As soon as I bring God into the conversation, my mind went blank. My faith, it went blank, because that, I think, is the most important element that has contributed to this journey of achieving a better quality of life. And I was listening to someone say about their relationship. I believe this was Sarah Jakes Roberts. My computer just went off, so talking about, and I brought this up. This is what I was saying. I think I brought this up to you guys about how we can have an attachment to the way God showed up in the past, binding us from receiving how he may show up in the future. So yeah, my faith is expanding. The word for the past 2 weeks has been expansion for me, which is interesting considering a lot of things. Jupiterian, I'm in my Sagittarius season. My birthday is coming up. And in order for me to achieve a better quality of life, I am noticing the things that are helping, that are inspiring that. A lot of it is dialogue, a lot of it is conversation, and that is the healing work. And I'm, with every sort of secondhand rant and expansion of thought, I am receiving more information about how what I've been through is going to show up in how I do my service. Whatever the service is in life, how I have been through whatever I've been through, it lives in my service. I really don't know how I'm doing on this whole collecting the material thing. I'm just trying to get it how I live it. and how I live it a lot of times is when I'm home alone and I have the space to think freely. I'm just also reflecting on this community on YouTube. I think it's important that the sort of relationship I have with social media, I'm not going to say it stands all the way aside from YouTube, but YouTube is different. And a lot of the women that I follow, majority Black women, all women of color, when I think about what they bring to their channel or how they began their channel or how like they began their journey and things like that, a lot of times it is coming from a place of wanting community. Feeling the absence of community, wanting someone to share with. And I resonate with that so deeply. But as a practice for enriching my human experience and pursuing a higher quality of life, I am opening up to the idea of why this work is important. The work of building a community in this way that I have chosen, and also with the people that exist in my 3D. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous because I feel like a lot of folks in my 3D don't. It isn't always by choice that we end up in physical space together. A lot of times, physical space is what brings us together. A lot of times, the occasion brings us together in the 3D. So a lot of times I don't feel chosen that way. This occasion feels chosen, and we attend it together. But that's why I feel like I was about to say two things. Like I feel like I am both of these people, where it's like I would like to know who all gonna be there, but also a lot of times I'd rather not know. I'd rather just go. And one of those things really feels like choosing, and the other feels like not being able to choose. Queen Cup talks about this all the time. And it wasn't really clicking or making sense to me about like why it's important for me to choose myself and less about being chosen. But I think something just clicked there, and I don't even know if I understand fully. But me bringing those words up through my own mouth is like, oh, that's why I want to be chosen. But when I give the power to who chooses to someone who doesn't choose, I think in this dynamic only two people can choose, which is God and myself. Like I can choose to not choose myself, which is pretty typical. It's easier to choose others over self. But if I choose myself, I'm choosing God. With this awareness, like I could also choose myself and not choose God, but I prefer to choose God. And know that in choosing him, I choose myself as well. So I'm chose on my own behalf. But I was saying and that's, yeah, putting the power in someone else's hand to choose you. People are not going to choose you because what are they going to do? They're going to choose themselves. You just got to learn to choose yourself. Amen. Wow. Wow. And all of this simply just came about because I'm having these thoughts about relationships. Again, I'm going into my birthday. And I'll be 28. I'm 28's been cooking for a little while. I have felt like I'm 28 for a little while now. Yeah. Getting emotional too. Thinking about relationships. and why these experiences then inform like literally who I am in the world and what I'm here to do. Yeah, I hope I'm doing. We'll just check in later. Yeah, you might be wondering what's up with the angle. And it's my pleasure to inform you that as my channel is now about my hairy experience and my mental health, that it is time for some hair removal. With hair removal comes pain. I do have updates from this position. I have stopped embarking on the journey of making my own sugar wax just because the results just vary too much for me. So I am using now Nature's Sugar Infirm Sugar Wax. This is specifically for brows, bikini, and underarms, which is the journey I have embarked on this evening. I'm maybe a little more than halfway done. Thank goodness. This is what's going on here. So I'm also trying to beat the clock right now because I really just want to be done. And the thing about mental health, it's just like sometimes pain isn't a bad thing. And I'm not harming myself. So sometimes I choose wax, tattoos, piercings, just another way to feel. Specifically for wax, though, I think it's more of a financial burden, especially when I can buy Nature's Sugar and put myself through the service, as I can service myself, a self-service, if you will. My goal is to achieve an extended bikini because I don't really think it's necessary for me to have a Brazilian wax. I don't think it's that deep, personally. So yeah, this is what I have been up to, I guess, for the past 2 hours, and I'm about a little more than halfway finished. So I guess 2 more episodes of The Cosby Show is probably going to be sufficient, as long as I'm not interrupted. Sorry about the lighting and the angle. It's just like it's not the most flattering, but I just felt it on my heart to share as I am in the process right now. I was thinking about sharing because I have never sugared my underarm before, and I think I'm gonna go for it. The only thing about it is you absolutely need 2 hands, almost 3, but given our human circumstances, it's not feasible, really. And then with doing your underarm, it's like you really only have access to 1, so we'll see. We shall see. But it's coming along. I will say, since I am a little bit more proficient at this task, it's hurting a lot less. Since I'm consistent with this method of hair removal, it is also hurting a lot less. But baby, those beginning stages, they were not it. And it's not like I'm taking on big sections or something like that. I'm just moving at the most glacial pace that I possibly can. Can you see the hair? You can't see those hairs. It doesn't matter. The job is getting done. So Um, there's the update on my process. I'm not working on my neck and chin hair this evening. I think I will save that for maybe like a Friday, because I think on Saturday life will be a little bit more eventful. And then what we have to look forward to is more content on how being a hairy woman in society definitely does contribute to the wellness of my mental health, and probably other women alike. So that was my little check-in. I might show the results of my underarms. I may or may not get to that, really. But yeah, just one step at a time, y'all. One step at a time. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go. Peace.